Welcome to Voices of the Erased. We're about learning, sharing, and coping together when family bonds have been obstructed by a pathogen parent. And today I want to talk briefly about the DSM. So, the DSM stands for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and it is compiled and published from the American Psychiatric Association. And in a nutshell, for any insurance company to cover any kind of mental disorder, it has to appear in the DSM because it'll have a code. If it has a code, then there's that whole billing piece that can happen and the coverage can occur. When I started this journey and came across the term parental alienation and finally figured, like, oh wait, this is actually something real. It's not just a cult per se, or that it appeared to be a cult that my kids were sucked into. I then started connecting with others, and it was interesting that from many people I heard, well, there's an issue because parental alienation is not in the DSM, so therefore it's not recognized. And I have to tell you, I believe it is actually in the DSM. I think people are looking for the words parental alienation, and basically, if they're not there, then it must not exist. I think that is a misrepresentation and characterization of what really happens. And, I like to research and I like to read those journal articles. And one doctor that is absolutely brilliant is Dr. William Burnett, and I believe he is out of Vanderbilt. And in 2006, he published an article with two other doctors titled Child Affected by Parental Relationship Distress. And I will provide a link to this journal article as well as this code I'm about ready to give you. In the DSM, according to this article, parental alienation falls under code Z as in zebra 62.898. So I have spent time picking around in the DSM and specifically looking at that code. When you get to that specific code, there are actually 6 areas or six characteristics that fall underneath that code, which is under the umbrella of other specified problems related to upbringing. And there's, like I said, there's 6 medical terms associated with this code. And out of the 6, as I read over them, I would say 5 of the 6 actually do speak directly to family bond obstruction or parental alienation. The first medical term is humiliation. The second medical term is neglect, and it specifically states emotional. Absolutely, our children are being emotionally neglected. They're being emotionally abused with the pathogen parent. Problems with or related to is now our third one. And underneath that medical term, I pulled out child rearing, a frightening experience, loss of a love relationship in childhood, having a negative life event with an altered pattern of family relations. It's also a negative life event that has resulted in a loss of their self-esteem and also a problem with their upbringing. The fourth medical term is loss of a family member, a loving relationship and their self-esteem. So you can see how they actually bridge back and forth with each other. And the fifth one is having an altered pattern of a family relationship that negatively affects the child. I believe, right here in black and white, that this phenomena is directly written into the DSM. What has happened, though, is it's just not even sentences, but it looks more like bullets of information that this actually falls under. So it'll be interesting here in the upcoming versions of the feedback they received, how it's going to be further fleshed out. But I really do believe when people will say it's not in the DSM, therefore it does not exist, you are now equipped with some information to refute that false statement. So remember, if you see something, say something. Please have the courage to point out that children need both their parents. Please feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone. We can't watch in silence any longer. Have a good one, and until next time.